Yo, what's good, bros? Welcome to LALIFY Academy. My name is LALIFY. I'm going to be showing you how to be a competitive player and up your arsenal multiplayer. And honestly, I have a lot of fun playing this game more than any modern shooter, any modern multiplayer. This is a really fun game for me, just in the way the weapons work and how you move. Everything just works for me in this game, and that's why I continue playing it. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to play it as well. And once you master all the mechanics and movements and all of that, it will be really fun for you. So in this video, I'm not going to go too crazy with this video. I'm just going to show you the basics, and I'm going to show you a couple of settings that worked for me so you can have a good foundation. So then the next video that I make, you essentially have a good foundation you could start on. So let's actually do settings right now. So let's go to options first. And now what you want to do is progressive scan. Make sure this is on. And then 16:9 widescreen, it's a personal preference. Most people have it off. And I think the most recommended is to have it off. But for me, I have it on. Um, just by having it on, it makes you a little bit worse, I think. But honestly, with the way the game feels, it just feels a lot better for me. It may be the same case for you, but just experiment with this, right? So now let's go to multiplayer. So in this video, just the basics, teaching you how to cycle, why we use cycle, and how to do like one basic move. All right, let's select online play and our network setting. Logging in. All right, now log into your profile that you made. If you set up this, accept, and press next. Now it's downloading the patch. These are all the settings, the new settings that weren't in the original game on release. And these are all quality of life settings that make the game a lot more playable. All right, so now let's actually log out, and we're actually going to go back to our profile. Make sure the patch is downloaded before doing this. So go to your profile, edit profile. All right, now we're going to go to controls and camera. Control type, make sure this is on lock strafe. This is a must. If it's not on lock strafe, you already failed the video. Make sure it's on lock strafe, and you're good to go. All the other options are horrible. Now, the camera rotation speed is very preferential. Mine is on 160. It's actually the high end. It could go as high as 300%, but players go as low as like 30%, 50%, etc. Just make sure you find the one that's just right for you. And all these other settings are preference. Let's actually log out now and then log back into our profile. All right, accept. Next. All right, now where it says press start to open config menu, these are all the account based settings for your personal account. So always show health, I have it on. Camera pull off. What this does is it disables the aiming function, and where the camera basically pulls, like it moves your aimer onto a certain player. It disables that, so it gives you less aim assist, but because of that, you're more consistent because the camera isn't pulling onto your player, and you actually can control where it goes. Camera shake off. Whenever you hyper strike or throw a gravity bomb, your screen shakes. This just turns it off. Disable D-pad movement on. Field of view 2, especially if you're on 16:9. If you have it on 2, it feels so much better, honestly, and you can see a lot more. FPS counter off. Hypershot equip button on. Level of vehicle normal. Now this is the first cycle weapon, Flux Rifle for weapon 1. Weapon 2 is Gravity Bomb, and weapon 3 is Blitz Cannon. So I'm going to show you why we choose these weapons in a bit. Spectate on, quick select delay 11, single player music on, and then these are default. Alright, let's create a game now. Let's do Korgon. I think Korgon is a good movement map. Deathmatch. No. These are 3 weapons: flux rifle, gravity bomb, blitz gun. So we want to disable these 5 weapons. And then advanced options, vehicles off, unlimited ammo on, spawn weapons yes, charge room mode yes. I think that's fine. And then I want to select the color. All right, great game. Select aqua. Now what you're gonna do is press start. Game settings. Just go to preset and make sure this is 1v1. Right. So press start and then press R1, and then go to preset with the D-pad and then 1v1. All right, let's start. All right, we're in the game now. I'm gonna go down here. All right. Now, first you may be asking why these 3 weapons, right? Why do you want to play with these 3 weapons and not anything more than this? So first off, right, is that on the top left, you can see you can only hold 3 weapons in your weapon select at the same time that you could quickly switch to like this by pressing triangle. The reason we play these 3 weapons is because of that, and also the fact that these are the 3 most useful weapons. Now, mini rocket tube is the most powerful weapon, well, second most powerful, I guess. But you may be asking why we don't use that. Mini rocket tube has lock on, and lock on is actually bad for you, and the reason is because when you're locking onto something, like there's no skill in aiming. You just look at a player and just shoot randomly, and then it'll lock onto them and then hit them for damage. These are the 3 most skillful weapons that you can use that don't require like any sort of gimmicks to use because they have a pattern, right? So this is a gravity bomb. It's basically a bomb you shoot on the ground and does damage, right? But you can also aim higher and then shoot it as if you're like doing like a bombing strike or whatever. You see a hit up there. Blitz gun is a shotgun basically. Closer you get, the more damage it does. But like if you're far away like this, it's not gonna do a lot of damage. But the closer you get, that's when it does more damage. So that's a part of that skill. And then the final weapon is the flux rifle. This is the most important weapon. This is the weapon you aim with. And this is the reason why the game is so fun, because the aiming aspect of this game is just really good, and the fact that there's a lot of patterns and techniques that you can use to aim. So just by getting good with this weapon, the better you are with this weapon, the better you are at the game. This is what separates a pro player from like a lower tier player, is a flux rifle. But even people with a good flux rifle like struggle sometimes in close range. So that's why you want to be well rounded in close range, mid range, and far range. But in this video, I'm not going to go too crazy. What we're going to do is we're actually going to try cycling. So whatever weapon you have equipped right now, just stand still and press R1 with that weapon a couple times. Alright? Now that you got that down, press triangle 1 time and then press R1 again. And then press triangle 1 more time, press R1 again. You see how you're in a pattern, right? That you go from flux rifle to gravity bomb to blitz gun. Now what you're doing is that because the flux rifle has a cooldown that you can see right there, you're actually switching to the next weapon. Like this has a cooldown too, right? That's the cooldown right there. Your blitz gun has no cooldown, but you don't want to be just spamming this because you're not going to do a lot of damage just like that. What you want to do is you want to use one weapon, shoot that, go to the next weapon, and switch that. So by the time you switch to your weapon again, the cooldown is already reset, but you're not just idly doing nothing there. You're actually utilizing all your weapons so you could do the most damage. Right. So that's how you start, right? You want to just press R1 a couple times. Go to the next weapon by pressing triangle. You don't want to hold triangle. That gets into your quick select. You just want to tap it. So tap triangle and just keep shooting. Tap triangle, shoot. Tap triangle, shoot. Tap triangle, shoot. And that's cycle right there. You want to do it where you could do it fast as this. This is the fastest you can go, I think. So you see how my gravity bomb didn't shoot? It's because I went too fast. That's where you want to be. You want to be at a point where you go too fast, but like lower the way that you shoot your weapon. So you don't want to go too fast to the point where you just miss a weapon, right? Because there's a limit you can go to. This is the fastest you want to go. But of course, you're not going to be there at first. What you want to do, you just want to slowly tap triangle, then press R1. Like that. And then incorporate some movement. Like that. Left and right, anywhere your analog stick goes. Keep moving. And that's basically cycle right there. You're using all three weapons and shooting them by tapping triangle across all of them. So press R1. Go to the next weapon. Triangle, go to the next weapon. Triangle, go to the next weapon. Triangle, go to the next weapon. And that cycle right there. Your muscle memory will get a lot better just by practicing every day for like 5 to 10 minutes. And I'll show you how to practice. We have a game mode called training where there are bots or like player bots that you could practice on. And I'll show you in this video how to do that. Yeah, just go to a match and just keep doing this. And eventually you want to get as fast as this. This is your goal. If you could be as fast as this, then you already succeeded. But here's the thing, right? You notice how I'm not moving my right analog stick? That's what you actually need to do. You need to actually aim your flux rifle. You could do this mindlessly. But your flux rifle, you can't just like, the way I'm moving right now is what your opponent will be moving over there. Like they could strafe as well, right? So you actually need to aim, right? You need to aim at something. Like that. Right? You want to aim, right? That's the hard part of cycling is switching to your weapon, shooting it, and then trying to aim at the person. That's the hard part. And that's what most players are struggling with. But you get a lot better by just muscle memory and practice. All right? So that's the basics of cycling. So don't go too crazy with it. Make sure you're going slow, but make sure you're getting faster and faster each day. All right? Now, I'm going to show you a really basic movement trick, right? I don't want to overwhelm you, so this is just really, really basic. So I want you to charge boot a couple times. So just double tap R2. Like that. Maybe move your left stick as well, right? You can move your left stick, go to a certain direction. And now you see what I did there? You see how I hit this wall, basically? It's because I went too fast. Now, how do you go too fast? You just hold L2, or actually tap L2 at the end of your charge boot. Like that. You see, you go a lot more distance than you would just, like, sliding like that. You don't want to slide. What you want to do is you want to aim slide, I think is what it's called. So let's say, like, this is my distance right here, right? By this water. I'm gonna be going through to like that bush over there that you see, right? I'm just gonna be sliding. You see, I basically almost perfectly landed this bush, right? Let's go back to the same distance. aim at the bush, and then hold L2. You see how much further I traveled? I went from that bush all the way to here. That's the that's so much time that you could save just by holding or tapping L2 at the end of your charge boot. So at the end of your charge boot, tap L2 like that, and you go a lot faster. And you could just keep chaining this over and over. And it's just intrinsic movement that you get just by pressing one button. It's just the easiest form of movement, right? Just by pressing L2, you go so much further. And that is like once you do that, you're basically good, man. Like, well, I mean, you're not good. There's a lot more movement techniques and technologies that you can utilize, but this is the basic, the most basic I can get for competitive play right there. And you can move your left analog stick to go in certain directions. Move your right analog stick, point in a direction. Right there. Right? Cause like this is too slow for me, man. Like once you use L2, you're just way ahead of the game. See how fast I'm going? Right? So cycling like this and holding L2 like that, those are the two most basic forms of competitive play. If you could do those two and practice it, then when you practice the harder, more advanced technology, like lag jumping. So this is a lag jump, right? Or actually, I should do it. I should do it like this. Oh, this is a lag jump, right? Part of the lag jump is just holding L2, right? I'm not gonna cover lag jumps in this video. I think it's gonna be a little bit too overwhelming. I'll do it in the next lecture. But this is your goal, right? This is a lag jump. You see how my movement is being conserved? Being preserved, like even when I'm side jumping. This is like you're just side jumping using the charge boot momentum. It's a little bit hard to do, but that's how you get lag jumping now. I'm just showing you an example so you could get familiar with it. And then in lecture 2 I'll cover how to do it. But this is what you should be doing first. Pressing L2 at the end of every charge boot. So you could utilize the most amount of movement possible. Right? So those are the two things I want you to practice for your homework basically. Cycling like that, and then holding L2. All right. If you could cycle with just these three weapons and hold L2, then you're basically good to go for the basics of competitive play. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna practice cycling. Because charge booting and holding L2, that's pretty easy to do in my opinion. But cycling is hard because there's a lot of things that go into it. But I'm not gonna go too crazy. Have these three weapons enabled. Now we're gonna actually play with the bots. It's like a 35-minute game. We're not gonna use all 35 minutes, but let's invite player. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna invite player and invite TI. That means training idle. Idle means that they will just stand still. There's also training passive where they're actually strafe. But idle, you want to practice with idle first. Now we're just gonna wait for these bots to join. It'll take like 1 to 2 minutes. Now that all the bots have joined, let's start the game. All right. Now I'm going to show you what to do with these bots. You see we're in Marcadia Palace. This is a really small map, so all the bots will come to you. All right. You see we have like 7 bots right here. All right. And they're all still. I guess a couple are jumping. No, there aren't. So you see all of them are standing still, right? Now what you want to do, let's just blitz a couple of them. So you see, I'm going to show you how each gun works. You blitz this far away, it's not gonna do anything. They're taking damage, but they're not actually like being stunned, right? You want to actually stun them. So you go close to them, and you see how they flinch right there. That's what's called a stun. When they're stunned for like a second or two, or just a second, they can't move as well as they can. Right? Like they have a second where they can't move, right? So just blitz them close range. All right. And then what you want to do is this is a combo that you could use. You could blitz them, and they have a moment where they're standing still that you could flux them with a clear shot. And then honestly, that's just one combo. Another combo is throwing gravity bomb and the blitzkin at the same time, because the gravity bomb, you can easily avoid it by jumping like that. But if you stun them with the blitz, they have no ability to jump, and they instantly just die with the gravity bomb. So that's one combo with the blitz and the gravity bomb, and another combo with the blitz and the flux rifle. Now you also have the gravity bomb and flux rifle. If you're like long range, I mean most players don't do this, but you could shoot them with the flux, aim up, and shoot them with the gravity bomb. But that's not recommended at all. It doesn't do anything. It's not the most effective way. But I'm just getting you familiar with all the combos, so you could. Oh, what the? I don't know what's going on. Let me restart the game. Hold up. All right, we're back. So, yeah, like I said, just continue practicing on these bots. Continue practice cycling on these bots. Make sure you incorporate some sort of aim. All right. Like that. This is the most basic form. Gameplay. Show one weapon. Press triangle. Shoot another weapon. And literally just continue doing this until you get a feel that you could go like a little bit faster. So this is how fast I go. Right? That's your goal. You want to be as fast as this, right? Right, you want to be as fast as that, because being faster means you could do a lot more damage. Alright, but when you're starting out, just, go slow. Make sure you're getting faster. And like I said, you can also practice the combos that I showed. So, blitz gun, flux rifle. Right? Blitz gun, you're stunning them. Flux rifle, you're finishing them off. You can also do gravity bomb and blitz gun, like that. But you have to do this really fast, or else they won't die. So the gravity bomb and blitz gun is called the drain. Like that. That's the drain right there. Shooting as fast that they instantly get one shot. And then this is called a stun, right? Shooting with the blitz. How did I miss that? Shooting with the blitz. And then flexing them. This is how most players usually kill. Like that. They just stun with the blitz. And just shoot with the flux. Stun with the blitz. Shoot with the flux. Stun with the blitz. Shoot with the flux. Now, of course, you have to skip your gravity bomb in order to do this. Like that. You could skip any weapon that you choose to skip in order to use a combo. So blitz gun, flux rifle. And then skip gravity bomb, blitz gun, flux rifle, skip gravity bomb, blitz gun, flux rifle, skip gravity bomb, blitz gun, flux rifle. You could just choose. You could choose to skip any weapon just by pressing triangle. But you know, practicing combos is just an advanced form of cycling. When you're just starting out, you know, all you have to do is just switch to one weapon, press R1, switch to another weapon, press R1, switch to another weapon, press R1, switch to another weapon, press R1. Alright. And of course, in order to aim with the flux rifle, make sure the reticle is on them. And make sure aim assist is also helping you. You see how I'm flicking from right to left? That's called a flick, and that's how aim assist works a lot of the time. Most players usually just flick onto the target like that. And the aim assist is very generous. It's not like, you know, it's not gonna, like, if you move from right to left, you're not gonna over flick onto a target like that, right? You're not gonna just go over them. It's generous enough to where you could just flick a little bit from right to left onto a target, and that will hit them. So that's how you aim with the flux rifle, right? Like you don't want to track them. Like you see how this guy, like you don't want to track them like this, right? Like this is a very ineffective way of aiming, right? Because this game doesn't work based on tracks. It works based on aim assist, and also the camera is not snappy enough in order to track them like that. So that's why people flick from right to left always. Make sure to practice right to left flicks with the flux rifle. Right? And then, of course, do cycling. So you could shoot one weapon, switch to a blitz gun, flick from right to left with the flux rifle. And with that, you're basically good to go, man. You know? So I taught you basically three things to do: how to aim with the flux and how to cycle. And also how to move with the charge move by pressing L2. This is very easy to do. Press R2 two times, then press L2 at the end. Incorporate some left stick movement. You can move to the left a little bit. Like instead of going straight like this, you can just go to the left or the right. Like that. It's very easy to do compared to just this. And I taught you how to cycle. Shoot one weapon. Switch to the next one. Shoot another weapon. Switch to the next one. Shoot another weapon. Switch to this one. Shoot another weapon. Switch to that one. Switch to this one. Shoot another weapon. Switch to this one. Switch to this one. Shoot. Switch. Shoot. Switch. Shoot. Switch. Shoot. Switch. Shoot. Switch. Shoot. And then you want to be as fast. You want to get faster and faster. I froze, man? What the hell? I'll be back. Alright, I'm back another time. Now, I'm in the training passive mode. You see how they're actually moving and jumping around? So this is what your opponents are going to be doing. They're just going to be moving and jumping around. So you actually need to aim for these, right? Now, if you didn't master like training idle yet, this might be a little hard. But you just want to make sure you're aiming, right? All right, you want to aim. This guy, I hate this guy, bro. I'm gonna teabag him. but you want to make sure you're aiming. Because they're all gonna be moving around like this, right? So you actually need to like move your right analog stick while cycling. This is the next part of the challenge. Because, you know, if you play with your thumb and using your thumb to switch your weapons like this, then you can't move your thumb and the right analog at the same time. So you need to like you have to do like something like that. You have to move your right analog as you're switching the weapon. You have a window you can move it. So by pressing triangle and then moving your analog, you could just aim like that, right? So make sure you're switching your weapon and make sure you're aiming in between that too. Remember, like I said, right to left flicks. Make sure it's not left to right like this, but right to left. That's. I mean, I'm pretty sure the science the way it works is since your flux rifle's on the right side, just easier to aim right to left. No, there's no science at all. The devs probably didn't design it like that, but I'm just speaking on my ass. So you know, just make sure you're cycling. Make sure you're moving as well, and make sure you're aiming. You're basically like literally 80% of the way there if you could aim while cycling. Cycling is like only 40% of this. I would say 60%. Cycling like this without aiming. That's just 60% of what you're supposed to do, right? I mean, that's still a lot. But when you incorporate aim, that's how you actually get the most bang for your buck right here. And of course, train your flux rifle aim. It takes a lot of practice, but once you get it down, it's really fun, right? You know, doing flicks from right to left is the most basic form of aiming, but there's also letting them walk into your aim like this, right? You see, I'm not moving my analog, but they're just walking into my aim. But of course, doing flicks like from right to left is really the foundation of how to aim. You don't want to track them, right? You don't want to track them like this. I mean, tracking will work, but most consistent form of aiming is just flicking. Right to left always. Tracking, make sure you're tracking as minimal as possible. You don't want to track like that. Right? You don't want to track this guy because then you won't utilize your aim assist as well. Right to left flicking always. Well, not always, but most of the time. Right? So cycle. And then get faster. Just keep getting faster at this until you could go as like fast as this. And also make sure you're moving your left analog, left to right, left to right. Make sure you're strafing. That's why lock strafe is a thing. And then get faster with cycling until you can go as fast as this. Alright, so step one, just cycle without move left and right and cycle. I mean, I guess step one is just cycling like this. Step two, move a little bit with your left analog. Step three, incorporate aim with your right analog. And then, yeah, basically with those three steps, you're good to go, man. There won't be any issues. You could utilize jumps as well. But I mean, a thing I will go over is don't do side jumps because because you're doing side jumps. There's a set direction you're going to land on. Because of that, they'll know where to aim. Like like let's say you're jumping from here and you're gonna land here. I'll just put my aimer there and hit you like that. So you don't want to side jump. Just do regular jumps like that. Or honestly, just don't jump at all, man. The only reason you should jump is with the gravity bomb hitting you. Just, just strafe left to right without jumping. And please, for the love of God, like if you see someone like right here, just don't like if they're like, oh my God, you're in my face, man. Just don't wrench them, bro. You have a blitz cannon for a reason. Just spam the guy with the blitz, right? Right? Like you don't wanna wrench them. Like, oh my God, you're in my face, bro. Like come on, get out of here, get out of here. Right? You don't want to do that. Just spam him with the blitz, bro. Right. And of course, if you're wrenching them, like you're just gonna die if it's a cycle match. If it's a flux only match, oh, I'm getting the glitch again. Well, it's fine. I already taught everything. But if it's a flux only match, you just don't want to wrench them, you know. Right? Don't wrench them like this. Just blitz. So, the thing that most new players get caught up on is just jumping all the time and wrenching close range. Like if this guy's in your face, just don't wrench close range. It's much better to use a blitz gun. Just aim in their face and kill them. Right? So this is basically the competitive starter pack. Move like this and cycle like this. So I think I went over all I wanted for lecture 1 of LALIFY Academy. Depending on the turnout of this video, I will record more and I'll go over more advanced stuff. But just keep practicing cycle, keep practicing movement, and if you're interested in getting private lessons, I'm of course down. Just let me know a time that works for you and I'll see if that fits with my schedule. So thank you guys. I hope you guys get better at the game. And let's get some games, man.